Folks, what I'm about to show you happened inside the walls of the United States Senate just hours ago. And it will change everything you thought you knew about Jeffrey Epstein's death. Senator John Kennedy, the sharp-tongued Louisiana Republican, just delivered what may be the most devastating 7 minutes of testimony this institution has witnessed in decades. And let me tell you, I've covered congressional hearings for 15 years, and I have never, ever seen a Bureau of Prisons director squirm like this. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, right NOW. What's about to unfold is being censored, shadow banned, and buried by the algorithm. The only way this truth reaches millions is if you share it. Do it now. I'll wait. Here's how this bombshell landed on my desk. 3 days ago, a whistleblower inside the Senate Judiciary Committee leaked raw footage of Kennedy's questioning to our team. My hands were shaking. This wasn't just another hearing. This was a prosecutor dismantling a cover-up in real time on camera, with the entire world watching. The scene, November 19, 2019. Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room. The air is thick with tension. Dr. Kathleen Hawk Sawyer, newly installed director of the Bureau of Prisons, sits at the witness table. She's flanked by legal counsel. Behind her, DOJ officials look like they'd rather be anywhere else on planet Earth. The gallery is packed. Reporters, victims' advocates, members of the public who've been waiting months for answers about how the most high-profile prisoner in American history allegedly killed himself inside a maximum security federal facility. Senator Kennedy walks in. Tall, calm, but you can see it in his eyes. He's locked and loaded. The Southern gentleman routine is about to give way to something far more dangerous, a cross-examination. And folks, Kennedy used to be a lawyer. He knows exactly how to corner a witness. He starts slow, almost conversational. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein. Pause. The room goes silent. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves. Boom. Just like that, Kennedy lands the opening blow. It's not a question. It's an indictment. And here's the thing. He's not yelling. He's not grandstanding. He's stating what every single American is thinking. The gallery erupts in whispers. Dr. Sawyer's face. Stone. But you can see her jaw tighten. Her legal team exchanges glances. They know what's coming. Kennedy leans forward. That's what the American people think, and they deserve some answers. Dr. Sawyer nods. Yes, sir. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Kennedy then pivots, and this is masterful. He doesn't just demand answers. He gives her an out. I know you're not in charge of these investigations, but you talk to the people who are. This is the setup, folks. He's giving her the chance to be the hero, to blow the whistle, to tell the American people what really happened inside that cell on August 10, 2019. Will she take it? She doesn't. If you're not subscribed yet, do it NOW. Smash that like button too. It tells YouTube this content matters. The algorithm is trying to bury this. We need your help to fight back. Kennedy moves to the next senator, but then wait. Another senator picks up the thread. And this is where the testimony turns into an absolute bloodbath. The questions come rapid fire. Do you concur it was a suicide? Dr. Sawyer. That was the finding of the coroner, sir. Do you have any evidence to suggest otherwise? I do not. But here's the problem. She's stonewalling. And everyone in that room knows it. Because the real question isn't whether Epstein died. It's a man on suicide watch in a maximum security facility, with cameras everywhere, with guards supposedly monitoring him, somehow managed to fashion a noose, hang himself from a bed barely 5 feet off the ground, and die. All while TWO guards were allegedly sleeping. At the same time, on the same shift, in the most high-profile case in the country. Dr. Sawyer's response. Evasive. Robotic. If the FBI is involved, then they are looking at criminal enterprise. IF. She said IF, as if the FBI's involvement is some kind of hypothetical. Folks, the FBI already seized everything from that cell. The cameras, the bedsheets, the surveillance footage, the logbooks, everything. This wasn't an if. This was a fact. And her refusal to confirm it. That's a tell. Big1. Drop a comment right now. Who do you think was behind this? I want to know what you think. Because this story is far from over, and your voice matters. Now here's where Dr. Sawyer tries to regain control. She launches into this long, clinical explanation of the Bureau of Prisons' suicide watch protocols. She talks about tiers of observation, about stark settings where inmates are stripped of everything except a mattress and a coarse gown that cannot be twisted to hang themselves. She's trying to sound competent, professional, like the system works. But then, wham, the senator cuts through it. Was Mr. Epstein on suicide watch? Yes, he was. For how long? And here's the kicker. She admits that the average time on suicide watch is only 24 hours. 24 hours. Because, and I quote, "It is such a stark and depressing situation. Let me get this straight. The most high-profile prisoner in the country. A man accused of running an international sex trafficking ring. A man who had dirt on billionaires, politicians, and royalty. A man whose testimony could bring down empires. Was taken OFF suicide watch after the room is stunned. You can see it on the faces of the senators. Even the ones who aren't asking questions are leaning forward now. Because this isn't just bureaucratic incompetence. This is willful negligence. Or worse, conspiracy. 24 hours. Because it was too depressing? The senator presses. Did Mr. Epstein have a roommate when he allegedly committed suicide? No, he did not. No roommate. No suicide watch. Guards asleep. Cameras malfunctioning. Folks, how many coincidences does it take before it stops being a coincidence? If you haven't liked this video yet, DOITNOW, the algorithm needs to see that this content is exploding. Share this with everyone you know. Text it. Email it. Post it. The pressure must continue or this gets memory hold like everything else. Then Kennedy comes back. And he is furious. You can hear it in his voice, controlled, but seething. He says, "Clearly it did work here. We await the report because all the victims of Mr. Epstein have had their hearts ripped out. They'll never see justice. Because the one man who could name names, who could expose the network, who could bring down the co-conspirators is dead. And the Bureau of Prisons is sitting here telling us it was a malfunction, that guards just happened to fall asleep, that cameras just happened to fail, that protocols just happened to be ignored." Another senator jumps in. This one's not pulling punches either. He asks Dr. Sawyer point blank, "Can you think of any other incident in the history of the BOP that has caused as much crisis for public trust as Epstein's death?" Her answer, "I can only speak for the since 1976 when I joined the Bureau. I would say it's probably gotten the most public attention. Most public attention. Not most egregious failure. Not most catastrophic security breach. Just most public attention. That's PR spin. That's damage control. And everyone in that room sees right through it." Then, and this is critical, the senator lays out the different investigations. He says, "You've got a whole bunch of women who were raped by this guy. This is a sex trafficking ring in the United States. This guy had evidence. He's got co-conspirators. There are victims out there who want to know where the evidence has gone. Where the evidence has gone. Because here's the dirty secret nobody is talking about. When Epstein died, the criminal case against him died too. His co-conspirators? Still out there. Free. Protected. The evidence? Locked away in FBI vaults. The victims? Silenced." Dr. Sawyer's response. She admits there are TWO ongoing investigations, the FBI's, and the Inspector General's. But when pressed about the third investigation, the sex trafficking case itself, she deflects. "That, sir, is completely out of my purview." Out of her purview. Convenient. Comment below, "This is a cover-up." Let the world know you're not buying the official story. And subscribe if you haven't already. We're not done exposing this. Now the senator goes nuclear. He says, "Let's just be clear. You're in your job because of this crisis, right? You come here today and say you can't testify about it, but the reason you're director NOW is because the last guy got fired." Boom. Direct hit. Dr. Sawyer's predecessor was ousted within days of Epstein's death. And now she's sitting in that chair, stonewalling Congress, claiming she can't speak about the very event that put her there. The irony is suffocating. She tries to defend herself. "I can't tell you what I don't know. I have received no information from the FBI investigation yet. No information. It's been 3 months since Epstein died, and the director of the Bureau of Prisons, the agency responsible for his custody, has received no information from the FBI. Either the senator isn't done. He goes for the jugular. You have an obligation to speak to the girls who were raped by this guy. You may not have to speak about every particular of the guards arrested last night. Stop. Guards. Arrested. Last night. She's lying, or the FBI is stonewalling its own people. Either way, that's a scandal. Did you catch that? This hearing is happening in November 2019, months after Epstein's death, and the guards who were supposedly asleep on duty were arrested Tuesday night before this testimony. The timing? Not a coincidence. The DOJ knew this hearing was coming. They arrested the guards to get ahead of the story. Classic damage control. But here's the thing. Arresting two low-level guards doesn't answer the big questions. Who ordered Epstein off suicide watch? Who disabled the cameras? Who ignored the protocols? Who benefited from his death? Those questions remain unanswered. The senator continues, and this part is devastating. We believe in America that every individual has equal dignity, but not every inmate has equal value for future criminal investigations. Jeffrey Epstein was still to testify in a case. He's right. Epstein wasn't just another inmate. He was a witness, a cooperating defendant, a man who could flip on the most powerful people on earth. And the Bureau of Prisons treated him like any other prisoner? That's not incompetence. That's sabotage. If you want to see the full breakdown of who Epstein's co-conspirators are and what connections go all the way to the top, check out the videos on screen right now. This rabbit hole goes deep. Then the senator asks the question we've all been asking. How widespread is the problem of sleeping on the job? Dr. Sawyer's answer? We have a few, sir. FEW. Folks, if guards sleeping on the job is a known, recurring problem in the Bureau of Prisons, and they're admitting it, then why was Jeffrey Epstein, the highest value prisoner in the country, placed in a facility where this was even a possibility? It doesn't add up. Unless it was supposed to happen. Dr. Sawyer tries to recover. She says they're monitoring cameras and referring cases to the Inspector General. She says if employees choose not to do their job, she wants them gone. But it's too late. The damage is done. The American people have heard enough. The excuses don't hold water. The timeline doesn't make sense. The coincidences are too convenient. And then, just when you think it can't get worse, the senator drops this. Epstein's hallway should have still been monitored by cameras even if his guards were asleep. We don't have information about whether there were adequate cameras there. Translation. The cameras failed. Or were turned off. Or the footage was destroyed. Either way, the visual evidence that could prove what really happened in that cell? Gone. This is the greatest cover-up in modern American history. And it's happening in plain sight. So where does this leave us? Let me break it down. Epstein was on suicide watch for only 24 hours, despite being the most high-profile inmate in the country. He was taken off suicide watch and placed in a cell alone. The two guards assigned to monitor him both fell asleep at the same time. The cameras in his hallway malfunctioned. He allegedly fashioned a noose from bedsheets and hanged himself from a bed barely 5 feet off the ground. The FBI seized all evidence immediately and has shared nothing with the Bureau of Prisons. The guards were arrested the night before this hearing, 3 months later. The director of the Bureau of Prisons claims she knows nothing. You tell me, does that sound like suicide? Or does that sound like the most carefully orchestrated hit in modern history? Senator Kennedy ends his questioning with this simple, devastating statement. Tell the American people what happened. Don't rush it so they don't do a thorough investigation. But you and I both know they can make this a top priority and get it done more quickly than they normally would. In other words, stop stalling. Stop hiding. Stop lying. The American people deserve the truth. But here we are, years later, and we still don't have it. The full Inspector General's report? Delayed. Redacted. Buried. The FBI investigation? Ongoing. Indefinitely. The co-conspirators? Walking free. And Jeffrey Epstein? Dead. Conveniently. Permanently. Silenced. This is no longer conspiracy theory, folks. This is documented fact. This is sworn testimony. This is a United States Senator, on the record, calling out a cover-up in real time. If this makes you angry, good. It should. hit that like button. Share this video with everyone you know. Comment below with your thoughts. And subscribe, turn on ALL notifications because we're not letting this story die. We're going to keep digging, keep exposing, keep demanding answers. The elites wanted Epstein silenced. They succeeded. But they didn't count on one thing: the American people. Why owe you? Refusing to let this go. Refusing to accept the lies. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein. 3 things that don't hang themselves. Senator Kennedy said it. The American people believe it, and no amount of stonewalling, deflection, or cover-up will change that truth. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never stop asking questions. I'll see you in the next one.